Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Pokemon, the podcast where we talk about everything and anything Pokemon, except for specific topics I want to talk about because Pokemon has to come out with a Pokemon Presents and ruin everything. Okay, not necessarily ruin everything. So a couple of days ago, right, the day of recording this, and hopefully I have it up the same night. It's Wednesday. They had a Pokemon Presents this morning, but a couple of days ago, Sunday, Monday, something like that, I was ready to just like sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna record this episode I wanted to for quite a while now. That I kind of hinted at the last time, and then all of a sudden, Twitter was abuzz with the Pokemon Presents announcement. And I was like, well, I could either push this episode out now and just kind of have this awkward of like, okay, do I just have 2 episodes in a week, like almost back to back? I don't know. Or do I just hold off and just do an episode on the night of the presents and just talk about the presents and then wait for my other topics after that? Obviously, I chose the latter. We're going to talk about the Pokemon Presents, or about everything that's been announced. Obviously, there are certain things to talk more than others, but definitely the biggest highlight, of course, the big announcement, or the big detailed announcement, is the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet details. We actually got more details, more new features announced, more new Pokemon to talk about. Way more than I thought initially. I will be completely honest. I had some doubt that the trailer or the next presents, whatever, that's going to show us anything Scarlet and Violet, was going to be underwhelming, was going to be lackluster. I had worries that because it's been so long, 2-3 months, I want to say. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating that, but I just feel like it's been so long since we've gotten any Scarlet Violet news, considering that this game is coming out in about 3 months, I want to say. And what are they gonna show us? Are they gonna actually give us a lot of information, or are they gonna kind of drip feed the information little by little? Lo and behold, they actually gave us a lot, but yet still there's a lot of questions to come about. So we'll get to talking about that. It's nice coming back talking to you guys. I do have a little bit of house cleaning stuff just to kind of make sure I get kind of taken care of first before we get into the topics, before we start talking about the Pokemon Presents. And that's, I don't know, there are some of you that are doing this, and I truly appreciate it. I really should be giving more feedback or more comments on it. There are lots of you that are leaving YouTube comments, and there's a couple of you that are doing the Spotify polls, which I appreciate it so much. And just like leaving replies to the questions that I leave. And that's something I really got to do better about, is like kind of replying back to the comments faster. Or at least, just faster in general, and kind of acknowledging these comments and things in the episodes. I mean, right now it's just like a few of you, so it's easy to do. I think, if and or when, most likely if, this is such a long-term thing, and so many of you start commenting, I'm gonna have to pick and choose at that point. But because there are a few of you that have commented on stuff, I just wanted to bring that up and just kind of address those and say thank you guys so much. For starters, YouTube comment wise, I mean, there's a couple of you that you and I had a couple conversations about, like shiny Pokemon, or collecting cards and whatnot. I start moving forward. For those of you that are leaving comments, I'll address those and maybe kind of talk a little bit about it in the episodes. But there was one thing I do want to address, was that like maybe a few episodes ago, several episodes ago, there was a user that was going by the username was Becky, and I was under the impression that it was a female. Lo and behold, it's not. So the person's name is Danny. Probably using a parent account. Completely cool. That's fine. But he just wanted to correct it. Be like, hey, I'm just using this account. My name's really Danny. So, hey, Danny, sorry for that mistake. Thanks for clarifying that for me. So shout out to you. Thank you for leaving your YouTube comments. Appreciate the follow and all that stuff. Thank you so much. So there's that. And then the last couple episodes I've had Spotify questions, like, for you guys to like reply to, and I don't know if a lot of people really acknowledge that or even know that it even exists. In Spotify, a podcaster is able to leave like a poll, right? You know, a question of like, which starter are you going to pick? And then A, B, C, or D, and you pick one. And, you know, I see percentage wise, like who picks what. And then there's another part where you can also leave a question for just anyone that's listening to just type in their answer, and just like you can see the responses, and I can reply to those, or just, you know, right now read a couple that are read a couple on the episode. And so if you are listening on Spotify, look out for those. How do we? I think there's like on my side I think it's called community tab, but I think if you scroll down past the show notes and stuff, you should see the poll and the question there. So hey, feel free to just answer away, pick whatever. You know, I would definitely love to address that in future episodes, and just have that even as a talking point as well. And I'll try to get better about that. So for starters, there was a few episodes ago where I asked what were your thoughts so far in Scarlet and Violet. That was months ago. Geez, yeah. So we had our initial trailer, and there were 2 comments that were left. I'm not gonna like say the full name of the username, because, you know, whether it may be the real name or not. But the first comment that I saw was from Jay. Just in general, says can't wait to play it. And I think just like everybody else in the world, yeah, we can't wait to play this, especially after what we saw today. I think it got people a lot more excited, and just November just can't come soon enough. CJ commented and said he wants it to be like Pokemon Diamond, which I would like some clarification on that. So if you're still listening, CJ, you know, shoot me an email or DM me or something, and let me know exactly what do you mean by that? Because for me, I wasn't a big fan of Pokemon Diamond. I guess the remakes more so, just because it was a 1-to-1 remake and didn't really do anything new. And I just realized how exhausting the battles were. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of was a little, it didn't like grab my attention long enough for me to like really thoroughly enjoy it. So, you know, that's just my opinion though. Like, what is it about Diamond that you want it to be? Is it like the amount of battles, or just like you kind of want Underground to come back, or how the routes were laid out? Like, what is it about Diamond that you want it to be similar to? That way we can kind of, you know, gauge what your interest in there is so far, and kind of make that comparison, see if that would work out, and just, you know, speculate, you know, what if it is like that, or something, you know, to what extent. But yeah, so there's that. And then I think on the last episode when I talked about shiny Pokemon, the question that I left was, what was your favorite shiny encounter, or favorite shiny Pokemon? And we had a comment from, I think if I pronounce this correctly, Kythox. I think that's how you say it. Says favorite shiny Pokemon or encounter that he came across was getting shiny Munchlax in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon through SOS hunting. Now, I am aware that there is quite a bit of a following, or I guess a fan group of like, yeah, SOS hunting was great, was awesome. Best way to catch shiny Pokemon, or best way to hunt for shiny Pokemon. I've never myself experienced it. I know what SOS is, but just kind of, again, I don't have the patience for it. But hey, I'm assuming shiny Munchlax was a very difficult Pokemon to get, so congratulations on that. And yeah, if you nicknamed it, let us know what you nickname it. I'm not a fan of like nicknaming Pokemon. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't just nickname like any, like if I had a Squirtle or Vulpix, like, even though I have particular moments or preferences of like, oh, this Pokemon reminds me of this person, or this Pokemon reminds me of this thing, like, I can't nickname it anything like that, because it just, I don't know, it just feels weird to me. Like, I always just want to keep its actual name. Like in the show, right, in the anime, they don't really give nicknames. I think there's only been like a few episodes where you have like a handful of episodes at most. I could be underselling that, but where the trainer actually had a nickname for their Pokemon, and that was it. So it never really stuck out to me. I don't know if I will ever have that moment where nicknaming a Pokemon is going to be a big deal for me. I'm not sure, but Yeah, that was quite a little bit of a tangent I went on, but yeah, if you nicknamed your Munchlax, man, let us know what you nicknamed it. So thank you guys for commenting, for leaving those replies, very much appreciated. And anyone else that left YouTube comments, very much appreciated as well. Okay, let's get into the Pokemon Presents. So they announced this a couple days ago. We knew it was going to be roughly about 20 minutes, Wednesday morning. It's a Pokemon Presents, so it could have been anything Pokemon related. We could have had Sleep, we could have Detective Pikachu, could have been like a Pokemon CD if they really wanted to, anything about their mobile games. So going in, right, the expectation is not the entire thing is going to be about Scarlet and Violet. The majority might be about it, but not the entire thing. And lo and behold, I think about half, it was like about 50%, maybe 9-10 minutes of it was Scarlet and Violet, was a Scarlet and Violet trailer and like more detailed information following that. So the rest of it were just kind of like minor updates or teases of their mobile games. Surprisingly, let's knock these two things out of the way. No update on Detective Pikachu 2 and no update on Pokemon Sleep. Two games that they had announced, oh man, right before the Let's Go games came out. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Because I remember that it was a whole conference ordeal and they said, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. No updates on those. So it's so strange that they didn't even bother to bring those up at all. Not even just to say that they're still developing it, right? Like, would they say that it was canceled, or would they hope that everyone kind of forgets? I doubt that people are, or I doubt that that company, I guess, thinks that everyone's forgotten about it, because there's been quite a number of people that are pretty vocal about it. So I don't know what's going on over there on that side, if what they're waiting for. There hasn't been much development because, again, this was right before COVID. So COVID probably really slowed things down, or really kind of, threw off scheduling and everything for development of the games. Who knows? There's been rumors or maybe confirmation. I'm just going to say speculation that there's Pokemon Sleep data in Pokemon Go, because it is supposed to connect with that. There is a new device and stuff. So maybe slowly but surely they're getting there. Snail pace that they're going. That's fine. Just at least let us know that it's still in development, so that way we're not kind of like in limbo, because it's just awkward. We're getting all these presents and Pokemon announcements, but nothing about games that they announced over a few years ago. So very, very bizarre. All right, so let's go ahead and start going through the first half of the Pokemon Presents, which were minor updates about the other stuff. Surprisingly, they did update or kind of maybe promote, I guess I would say, the Pokemon World Championships that are coming up in just a couple of weeks, actually, right? I believe so, in just a few weeks. They were talking about how it's awesome that, after so many years, 2-3 years, that we're coming together for a Pokemon World Championship. It's held in London. They're going to have the largest pop-up Pokemon Center store there. They're proud that they're bringing in Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite for those championships. And this is also the last one for Pokken Tournament, which is a bit of a shame. I still have hope that there's maybe a Pokken Tournament sequel in the works, so that way we can bring that one into championships. Who knows? But they were very proud. You could tell that Pokemon Company was very proud on how much of a community built with all these games, and how they're able to just hold this big, like, grand celebration and event to carry out all these tournaments, and just to have that camaraderie amongst players and stuff like that. So it was really cool. I thought it was a really nice presentation, and they even showed off, I guess, the new World Championship trophy, where it's kind of have like these 3 pillars from a base that says World Championship 2022, I believe. And then on top of the 3 pillars, you have the Pokeball, then Pikachu's on top of that, and Pikachu's holding a trophy. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty simplistic trophy, but it looks really nice. I think it's one of those, like, less is more kind of thing. So it was pretty cool to see that. Then they transitioned from talking about the World Championships to talking about Pokemon Go. Just talking about how we've been able to do Go Fest a couple times already, that there's one that's coming up here in just a matter of days, I believe, or maybe a week or so, and that they introduced Ultra Beasts, right? We started with Nihilego, then I forget which one is which. In Seattle, did they have Xurkitree? Or was that Berlin? I can't remember. I think Xurkitree and Buzzwole were the ones that were just released, and then we're just waiting on Pheromosa. I could be completely wrong about that, but there are 4 Go Fest events, and they've been releasing an Ultra Beast for each one, and then they kind of came out and said the season finale event for everybody is that we're gonna have the opportunity to catch these Ultra Beasts. So really, if you went to one of these Go Fest locations, you had early access to the Ultra Beast, which is pretty cool, and also early access to Skyform Shaman, which again everyone's gonna get, which is nice because we got the Landform Hedgehog version Shaman, and when Global Go Fest happened. And now at the end of this season, I guess continuing on that Go Fest, we're also going to get the other form. We're going to get Skyform Shaman as well. So pretty cool. And then they followed that up with Pokemon Unite, talking about how it's been 1 year, right? We're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Pokemon Unite, that they've been pretty proud of their accomplishments. And it is a successful game. I mean, people are still playing it, regardless of how people feel about ranked or whatever. There's still a large community for it. Obviously enough to have that be part of the World Championships. They were talking about all these different campaigns and login bonuses and everything you could get. They talked about how they introduced a few characters already, like Glaceon and Buzzwole just got released today, and then they're bringing in Tyranitar, and then they have teased that there are 3 more Pokemon coming starting September. So we'll soon kind of see what those Pokemon are going to be like. And that there is a new quick battle event going on right now. They introduced a new one called Boss Rush, which is basically, all 4 or 5 of you are just going out and attacking 3 bosses under a particular amount of time. You have to beat all 3 in a particular amount of time to get more rewards. But they now create a new one called Pika Party, if I'm not mistaken, where I think it's only running for a few weeks, but in this quick battle, literally every single Pokemon is Pikachu. You, as a player, are going to be a Pikachu. The wild Pokemon are going to be Pikachu. And then the Zapdos, quote-unquote, in the middle is going to be a Gigantamax Pikachu. So it's just Pikachus everywhere. I didn't get a chance to play it just yet. But it's like one of those like fun, quirky, like no one asked for it, but hey, it's kind of neat that they did it, and it's probably gonna fun, and it's not, there's nothing to complain about because it looks like just like a mosh posh of like, what random ideas do we have? Let's just turn everyone into Pikachus and go at it, and there you go. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna play out. Like I said, that's only available for just a few weeks, and I think that's it for Unite. I feel like I'm missing one more detail. Just the campaigns, the Pokemon, the quick battle events. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And and then other than that, like the Buzzwole got released today, which I did get a chance to kind of play that Buzzwole a little bit. Pretty strong Pokemon, I gotta say. And just coming right off the bat, like I didn't get to level up that much, but I just felt like its attacks just accumulate and just stack up, which is pretty cool. I got to play it more just to get a better feel for it. All right, after that, we got an extremely short teaser trailer of Pokemon Masters 3-year anniversary event, which maybe not so much the event, but what I believe they're going to introduce once the 3-year anniversary hit, which is called the Trainer Lodge. Now, this is something that they've been talking about in their developer notes for quite some time. I want to say maybe half a year, about 6 months. They were like, hey, we want to do something that is going to bring all trainers together. Like, we want all of you trainers to actually interact with each other. And yeah, they have their online co-op, but it kind of, they kind of hinted, or maybe, what's the word here? Not exaggerated, but just was building up this hype of like, we're going to build something awesome that's going to have everyone interact in such a positive and engaging way And so they teased what was called Trainer Lodge. We know that N, Rosa, and Sycamore are going to be three, and I think there was 6 trainers in total. 3 of the 6 trainers that are going to be involved with Trainer Lodge, but we don't really know what it is. It's literally, they just literally teased us with that, and that was it. And then that it's coming soon, 3-year anniversary, and it was literally maybe 10 seconds of the presents. So that's all they had, which is kind of surprising considering that in previous year, well, yeah, I would say the last 2 years, they took at least a couple, like a minute or so, probably a few minutes talking about Pokemon Masters and what they were planning for their anniversary event. But I don't know. Maybe they're just not ready to show off anything just yet, and they're trying to focus on making sure Trainer Lodge runs as smoothly as possible when it launches. Probably. And then after that, we get Cafe Remix news. Who's still playing this game that they're still going to bring up Cafe Remix? Mewtwo's coming back for it, which I could have sworn Mewtwo was literally just there, like not even a month ago. It goes to show how much I pay attention to this game. And that they're also giving out Victini and Latios, and Latios is coming, and it's just like, here's a bunch of Pokemon that we're hoping you like, so hopefully come back to this game. Not me, though. I'm not coming back to Cafe Remix. It's just not my type of game. I don't know if I ever will go back to it just to try it out and see if maybe something sticks. Hey, kudos to Pokemon Company for still supporting this game that isn't talked about a lot. And maybe just because it isn't talked about a lot doesn't mean that it's not played a lot, right? So, if there's a huge community, I hope you guys are excited for this. I'm being sincere about it. Hopefully this is something that, I guess, I don't know if supports is the right word to say, but you feel like you're being rewarded for your loyalty to the game or something to that extent. Cool. They're giving out lots of Pokemon. Yeah, hopefully that does something for players. And then that was it. That was for the first half of the presents. Then we get to the good stuff. That's right. We get to finally talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, where they just spewed out so many details in the most vague way possible to have you questioning, but yet left you a bit satisfied as to what you got. So, welcome to the Paldea region. We finally got the name of the region, Paldea. It looks fairly huge, right? If you look at the map, I think the layout is really cool. There's something very ominous, obviously, about the central part of the map. But just, it feels like it's going to be a big map, big enough for you to just really take the time to roam around. Like, you're not going to go from point A to point B in a matter of seconds. It's like, yep, it's going to take a little while to get there. I'm wondering if there's fast travel. I would assume there's fast travel. Most open world games do have fast travel. And they did come out and say it again, that this is an open world RPG game. In fact, that there are 3 stories to go through. They made sure that they were presenting that there were 3 separate stories that you can go back and forth any story, any part that you want. Like if you want to do a couple of gyms and then go do some treasure hunting and then go back to the gym and then maybe do the 3rd storyline, like you could do it however you want to. They brought it up several times to just make sure you have it great in your head that this is your adventure, your time, your pacing, your own decisions that you are going to make that defines the journey that you're going to go on. So, as I already said, right, the 1 story mission is the gym leader route, right? You do the gym leaders and then you do the Elite 4. I don't know if they really said the Elite 4. I can't remember. I might just be making that up in my head. But you do have the typical 8 gym leaders, which, by the way, there's no scaling for this level-wise. So, the 8 gym leader being the highest level gym leader, you could literally try to tackle that gym leader first if you wanted to. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but hey, if you want to go for it and want the challenge, it's all there for you. So, I think it was in their website that mentioned that, like, you could literally go to the gyms in any order that you would like. Then the second one is something about treasure hunting. Now, they were very vague about this, probably a bigger deal than what they're making it seem to be. And probably has something to do with the new gimmick, which we'll talk about in just a second. Yeah, it's almost like the trailer actually made it seem like that was really its main focus, is the treasure hunting. But I think that's just more of a push for you to understand that you are going to be exploring quite extensively in this region. And then they didn't say anything about the third one, other than that we'll bring surprises or mysteries or whatever. So maybe we'll get more details, maybe not. But it's very interesting that they have set up 3 different routes to take, right? There are some people that just don't want to do the gym leader stuff and just want to go straight to the game, right? Straight to the post game. So maybe the treasure hunting is the fastest way to get through it to the credits or whatever that people want it to be. I don't know, but I feel like this is definitely setting you up for like a lot of freedom of choice here. We did get to see new Pokemon, 3 new Pokemon. I'll bring up, I guess, in ranking of my least favorite to favorite. Not that any of these Pokemon are really bad. It's just, for me personally, it's just like this first one, Fido, I get it. Dough, it's supposed to be some sort of pastry donut, I think, because if you look at like its ears maybe, or its body, it's like donut shaped. And yeah, it's supposed to fill that obligatory dog-like Pokemon. I mean, we had Yamper in the last generation. Just now we got Fido. Okay, it's a fairy type Pokemon. I'm sure someone will love it. I think there are quite a number of people that do, but it just didn't really do anything for me. So yay, it's there. Hopefully its evolution looks cooler. Next, well, one of the new Pokemon they showed off first actually was the Wooper, Paldean Wooper. It is a poison ground type, completely brown colored though. And I almost want to say like is it whiskers or whatever it's sticking out from its cheeks? Almost look like bones, but I don't think they're supposed to be representative of bones. They're just like a darker color. It looks okay. I mean, it's Wooper that's just brown. That's it. It's a chocolate Wooper, I guess. I don't really have much to say, although it does look cute. Really reminds me of the axolotl creature, which maybe that is supposed to be like the original reference for it. But poison and ground, I don't know what you can do with that. I mean, I'm not much into competitive battling that much to really analyze it very well. But I really kind of was hoping they would have shown us Quagsire. I'm wondering if Quagsire is just going to be like a Paldean Quagsire, or if we're going to get like a completely different evolution altogether. Very interested in see where that goes. And then my favorite of the 3, which I don't think is getting a lot of credit, but hey, to each his own, is a Pokemon known as Cetitan. Cetacean, Titan, it's a whale, hence the cetaceous part. It's literally like, just think of like a iced version of Whalmer on legs and spikes sticking out from it. That's what Cetitan is. It's purely ice. It's a heavy Pokemon. It looks cool. I'm really hoping that there's an evolution form for it, because I think that next evolution, if there is one, would be nuts. But it could just be like, a Duraludon where it's just that one form and then that is it. I really hope not, though. I'm really pulling for it. I'm surprised it's not ice water, but it is. So I think it's called a Terra whale Pokemon, a land whale Pokemon. Hence why, they only type it as just ice. But I thought that Pokemon was really, really cool. I was mostly excited for that when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a whale. It's an ice whale. So definitely my favorite of the 3 there. I'm going to save the gimmick for last. What else did we definitely saw an extensive amount of the legendaries, Koraidon and Miraidon. They changed into vehicles. They're your ride Pokemon for the entirety of the game, it seems like. And I'm curious how you even get them. Like, if they're just going to give you the legendary so early, because it seemed like the only way you would travel all around this region is through these legendary Pokemon. Definitely have their own unique forms or how they travel. I think it's Miraidon, the future-ish, quote-unquote future version, has it's very much like a hover bike, jet plane, however you want to call it. It hovers around. Then you have Koraidon, who actually runs on its legs, but it looks like it's just like running on its chest there, where it's like a wheel shape. And then and how they fly, their ears stick out. Very reminiscent of like How to Train Your Dragon, at least on Koraidon's part. And then Miraidon just like looks like a, jet wings just sticking out there. But I thought that was really cool. I'm curious how much you can do with them, because there was a second clip where they showed Koraidon running up a mountain, and I'm wondering if that was just a cutscene or if you can legitimately just run up a mountain. I think that would be really interesting, and considering like how much of this region there is to explore, I'm wondering like how many nooks and crannies that they're going to be, that you're going to have to discover, like what caves are you going to try to find, like and to understand like you are free to go anywhere at any given moment in time. Like, I don't know, it just opens up so much freedom for you. So they're really, again, pushing that notion that they want you to understand that you are going to have that freedom to just travel wherever you want, and have that freedom of choice of how you want to go about your own adventure. So I think that was just really, really cool. Then you have, we saw more of the gas stations. We saw parts of the map. We saw the houses. The landscape was beautiful. The way they opened the trailer and you saw the Arcanine and the Houndours. Oh, man, that was like just top-notch, top-tier cinematic for me as far as a Pokemon game goes. Like, obviously, it's not like Last of Us landscape or whatever, or like Forza or whatnot. But still, it just looks so beautiful. And the detail on the Arcanine was so good, too. So, very, very cool there. And yeah, I guess we can then now go on to the gimmick. I'm not sure how to correctly pronounce it. I think it's called Terrastalsis. Terrastal, Terra Raid Battles, Terra something. Essentially, what happens is that every Pokemon has an opportunity to do this, or is capable of doing this, where they crystallize. They have like this crystal veil to them, I guess, or aura around them, or armor, I guess you could say. And they have like this weird hat thing going on, and it changes by type. Whether it's fire, it's a candle setting, or if it's grass, it's got plants. If it's water, it looks like a fountain, I think. And it boosts your Pokemon's attack for that typing. So let's keep it simple first. You have Quaxley, water Pokemon, Terrastalize, I think that's how you say it, and has that extra strength of water attacks, right? Does extra water damage. It boosts that attack. It's almost like a Z move in a way. I guess you can kind of think of it that way. Although, to be fair, like I don't really know if it changes any moves. It's just like, let's say you had Water Gun, it enhances that Water Gun maybe 2-3-fold or whatever. But they also mentioned, even though all Pokemon can Terrastalize, the typing that you get from it could also change. So the big thing that they showed was a Pikachu, which you can get, by the way, for getting the game on launch or pre-order. I don't think it's really a pre-order bonus. It's just that it's a mystery gift thing that you get when you buy the game early, basically launch day, and you have until like February to download it. But anyway, Pikachu ended up being flying type when it Terrastalized. I feel weird saying that. I feel like that's not the right way to say it. But anyway, it becomes a flying type. But then in the description on the Pokemon website, it almost makes it seem like it's an additional typing, because you would still get stab or extra still damage from using electric attacks from a Pikachu. So I'm not quite sure. It's like I said, they weren't very clear on that particular gimmick as far as what are the impacts of it in battle. But they just were they were showing off, what is it? Was it Drifblim that gains fire? Is it Persian? Was it Persian? Persian obviously was normal. They made a few seconds, they expanded on, if an Eevee were to terrestrialize, then it would be normal type, obviously, but there are some Eevees, maybe that can be water or grass. So again, it's kind of like an additional typing almost. I really hope, and I'm going to assume we are going to get a trailer during the World Championships about this gimmick and how it affects competitive VGC, because that's what they did with Gigantamax. When the last World Championship we had, they showed off Gigantamax and its impact on VGC. You know, what happens when, you know, this happens, when it flinches, or can it flinch, or, you know, what do these big attacks do and stuff like that. So I am under the impression, I'm hoping for that they would show that type of trailer again when we get to the World Championships. Okay, and they did show off that there are still raid battles in the game, which is awesome, because raid battles were great in Sword and Shield, and it sounded like they made it even better, because you no longer have to wait for your other, like, partner's turns. Like, it's not just you did an attack, now you have to wait 3 players to go by so you can attack again. It's like, they literally just said, you just attack at your own pace. You attack, you heal, like, you have to coordinate who does what. And you're just battling the Terra raid boss. And they showed off the Gardevoir one and how everyone was attacking the Gardevoir. And you had the chance to capture it at the end, just like any other max raid battle or raid battle in general. So I think that's really cool. The animation for catching the Terra Pokemon was very, very cool. Was very clean looking, was so neat to watch. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that's like not the only animation they came up with, because it'd be cool if we can see more types like that, or more, like, I guess, cinematics of that kind in other parts of the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. No evolution starters. I think maybe it's a little too early for that. I was hoping that they'll show at least the middle evolution, but they didn't even show us that. Not a whole lot of new Pokemon, which is a little bit surprising. I would have expected more, but man, if we're only 3 months away from this game, they really got to ramp up the marketing. I would assume, because they always usually show off a good chunk of the game before we even get it. So this felt like very tamed, I guess. But again, it was satisfying. Like, man, this did not undersell or just not underwhelm me at all. Like, this was what I wanted, and it's still making me want more. So I thought it was a really well done trailer, really well done Pokemon Presents. I think I'm forgetting to mention a lot of the characters. I'm not big into those characters just yet. They showed off like a gym leader, the Pokemon professors, who's the academy director, this other teacher, this biology professor that's going to also be a part of your interactions or day-to-day stuff. The Pokedex was really cool, and it was like literally a quick second, and I'm under the impression that you take a picture, like it takes a picture of the Pokemon you caught, and then it puts it like in a book, and then you're putting a book of each Pokemon. Like they showed off, was it Fuecoco, Lechonk, and who was the third Pokemon they caught? Wooper? I don't know, maybe. But it was like a book, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting Pokedex visual menu there. Like, that's never been done like that before. But maybe it's something else actually different, right? Because if you're out in the wild, you're catching these Pokemon, your Rotom phone, which you still have in this game, collects the information, then you go back to your academy, and then you put that information together and you create a book for each Pokemon. I think that's actually kind of a neat idea. I don't know if that's the case, though. I'm very, very excited. I'm more excited than I was. I'm glad it didn't undersell or underwhelm me at all anyway. So many features, so many things was announced, so many questions still to be answered, and I'm just looking forward to like the next time they talk about Scarlet and Violet. Like it's going to be amazing. So that's going to be my question in the Spotify thing, which feature or detail in the Pokemon Presents announcement for Scarlet and Violet got you excited the most? Like, what was the one thing that you were really hyped for? Was it the raid battles, or was it the new Pokemon you saw? Was it the detailed breakdown of, well, not breakdown, but like, a little bit more clear on the open world RPG? Like, what specific thing, one thing got you the most excited from the Scarlet and Violet portion of the Pokemon Presents? Okay, and then the poll will be like, which of the 3 new Pokemon did you like the most? Cetitan is my favorite. Go for the Cetitan. Although I feel like most people are going to pick either Wooper or Fido, unfortunately. But hey, to each his own. Yeah, okay. That was a lot. I think this is going to be quite a, well, not a long episode, but longer than my usual. Maybe almost double the amount of time. But there was just so much to talk about. And I'm sure I could go on and babble some more. But, you know, maybe in a future episode, I'm going to break down some more of my thoughts of how I feel about certain things that were announced. There were still topics I wanted to talk about. There was something I was hoping to talk about today. It's going to have to wait for the next episode. And then we still got, you know, not GoFest, but just Pokemon Go to talk about, Pokemon Unite to talk about. Lots of things to catch up on. All right, but before we wrap up this episode, we do what we always do. We end it with the Pokedex trivia, where I read to you a Pokedex entry for a mystery Pokemon that you have to guess based on the Pokedex entry I read to you. Now, I will not tell you what game the entry comes from, but after I read the entry, I'll try to leave a couple clues, and then I'll read the entry one last time. Hopefully you would have locked in your answer by then, and then I reveal what the Pokemon is. So here we go. Here is your Pokedex entry for this episode. When the temperature cools in the evening, they emerge from water to seek food along the shore. Okay, this is a dual-type Pokemon. It has the hidden ability Unaware. It weighs 18.7 pounds or 8.5 kilograms for us, for those metric folk. It is 1 foot 4 inches or 0.4 meters. What else can I say about this Pokemon? It is a basic, and it does evolve one more time. So it has this form and then its final evolution form. So just only 2 stages in total. And I think that's about it. I mean, it evolves into its next evolution at level 20, if that helps. I mean, there, like thinking back, and I'm sure there's like a finite number of Pokemon, like a set number of Pokemon that like evolve at a certain level, and you go, oh, this Pokemon was level 16. Well, that narrows 1,000 Pokemon down to like 20. I don't know, maybe, but it evolves at level 20. Okay, lock in your answer as soon as you can. I'm going to read the entry one last time. When the temperature cools in the evening, they emerge from water to seek food along the shore. All right, hopefully you have your answer locked in by now. The answer is none other than number 194, Wooper. Of course I would do Wooper. We just had a Paldean Wooper in the Presents. So I figured it was like fitting to pick Wooper for this episode. It is the waterfish Pokemon. Like I said, hidden ability is Unaware. What's interesting enough, the Paldean Wooper weighs a few more pounds heavier, about, 6 pounds heavier, but still it's the same height. And it evolves into Quagsire at level 20. Let's go ahead and read some of the trivia. Again, this all comes from Bulbapedia. 3 bullet points here. Wooper has the lowest base stat total of all ground-type Pokemon and the lowest base special defense stat of all ground-type Pokemon. Lowest base stat total and lowest base special defense. That's a shame. Wooper is the only ground-type Pokemon to consist only of a head and legs. That's right, it's got no arms. Very weird. Wooper was one of the first Pokemon to have its gender differences revealed, along with Scizor. It has gender differences? I was not aware, maybe? Every time I look at this Pokemon, I think of Wi-Fi, and I think that's like the most common thing people think of, right? Because of the 3 bars that are on its stomach. If you like look at it and flip it upside down, Wi-Fi bars, just saying. I've grown to like Wooper, and maybe part of that is also because of my bias of water Pokemon. Quagsire was a bit of a getting used to, to kind of appreciate that one. Wooper's cute, man. I like Wooper. Unfortunately for me, I think regular, Hoenn Wooper is still way better than Paldean Wooper. Paldean Wooper is just a little too odd for my taste. All right, well, that's pretty much it. That wraps up this episode. Thank you very, very much for listening to me babble and rant and I don't know, nerd out on this Pokemon Presents that we had today. If you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SpartanStrike07. If you want to write me an email, feedback, comments, whatever you want, you can write to me at spartanstrike07@gmail.com. All that will be in the show notes, of course. Again, thank you everybody that's commented on my YouTube videos, which are just my episodes. Which, by the way, if you want to hear these episodes on YouTube, you can also find me at SpartanStrike07 on there. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's left comments on there. Thank you to everyone who's interacted with me on Spotify, whether it's replies to the questions or doing the polls. I'm excited to see what comes out of these responses here for this episode. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say what I wanted to talk about. Even though I'm excited for Scarlet and Violet, if you look at everything Pokemon has done, there is so much Pokemon. And for a Pokemon fan like me that loves everything Pokemon, you just put a Pikachu stamp on it, I'm in. It is such a time sink and so stressful. And so that's what I kind of wanted to talk about. I'm going to say it probably for the next episode is, how do you manage your time for all these Pokemon games? Or do you just literally just force yourself to stick to just one thing and that's it? There's a lot of different ways to tackle that issue. So, or at least to talk about that issue. So I'm excited to kind of vent out my frustration or my feelings about that. But yep, that will be for next episode. That's pretty much it. Yep. I don't know how else to wrap it up, but thank you everyone once again for the 1,000th time. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next time. I talk about everything and anything Pokemon.